Welcome again to Foundation 21. I'm Andrew, and today I'm introducing you to the next two foundations of the Christian faith, worship and church. Worship describes an intense and deeply felt expression of adoration and love. It's the process of profoundly honouring something or someone, often to the extent that the worshipper loses any sense of himself or herself, becoming completely other, in this case God-focused. Church simply describes the communities of people, both local and worldwide, transcending time and distance, who have decided that they want to worship God, who they believe to be the creator and therefore the ultimate authority of the universe. Because God is the creator and human beings are the created, there is no question as to who worships who. Christianity's uniqueness lies in the understanding that God became one of us, a human being in the form of Jesus Christ. At first, people often find this incomprehensible and unacceptable. It spills out a vast array of questions, some of which are unanswerable and others which invite further thought. For the last 2,000 years, millions of people have accepted this and as a result have felt uniquely connected to and loved by God. These people go on to experience personal transformation, a spiritual renaissance, often described as like being born all over again, simply as a result of accepting for themselves that Jesus was God made human, with all that may mean for them. Such acceptance usually results in people wanting to honour their Creator, now become friend, and worship him with others who think the same way. At the heart of Jesus' teaching was a concern that his followers love, honour and accept God, themselves and each other. They do this in the things that they do together, meeting specifically to worship God in different ways. Often on a Sunday, historically the day Jesus showed his godness by rising from the dead. By deliberately building an open community of loving people committed to following Christ's teachings. By sharing together and seeking to live by a healthy moral code. Unfortunately, human beings are often all too human and behave badly, the result perhaps of not quite understanding how priceless and how loved they really are. For instance, over the last 2,000 years, Christianity has become formalised, with structures of authority emerging and people seeking to gain and exercise power over others in the name of religion. Arguments and even wars have been fought to maintain that unhealthy power, with divisions, denominations, cults and sects being formed. But most of us know the answer to misuse is not non-use. And across the world today, the Christian faith is growing at an unprecedented rate, particularly appealing to everyday people who have no aspirations to control or dominate one another, but simply want to live an unpretentious life with fellow human beings in a looked-after world that has God at its centre. One aspect of family and community life that draws people together is sharing food and drink, and the Christian community has placed this at the centre of its activity, both in sharing food together socially and in looking after those less well off and in need, making sure they do not go hungry. Jesus drew his followers' attention to this at his last meal before his crucifixion, reminding them to share bread and wine together and inviting them to picture him as being with them whenever they did so. That was the first ever Holy Communion, and it has become a formal and informal celebration at the centre of Christian communities across the world every day. Today, thousands and thousands of Christians are celebrating communion. It became even more poignant when Christ's followers finally realised that his Spirit was always with them and in them. So when they meet together, he is inevitably present. Both worshipping God and joining a Christian community start with a simple personal decision to do so, and both involve a step of faith. Taking an action towards another person without any guarantee that we will be accepted or loved by them has always involved a great amount of trust for some people, particularly those who have learnt the hard way not to trust others. One good thing about coming to God is that he has promised that anyone who wants his friendship can have it as deeply, as closely, and as personally as they are prepared to go, accepting him just as he is. They're free to pull out at any time, no strings attached, and he will accept them just as they are too. All we need do is let him know, and most people do that by simply telling him, as you would another human being. You'll be able to find your words for doing that. He then begins an amazing process of loving and generous renewal. He is, after all, our creator, so that's no big deal for him. Getting the messed up parts of our lives sorted out and changing us from the inside to make us better and happier. It's very reassuring to know that although he has the final authority in human lives, he profoundly loves the creation he has made, including every priceless individual human being, even you and me. That's the reason I worship him.